Previously on Dragon Ball Hakai. To have chances to face Odisu, the great mage of the elements and leader of the 5 great celestial mages, Goku used a new transformation which uses in balance the power of angels, Ultra Instinct, and also the power of the gods of destruction, the energy of destruction. Using this power, Goku was able to pressure Odisu into physical combat, but the mage decided to use his magic, and using the natural elements of planet Chameleon, he became almost untouchable to Goku, who finally lost his temper and decided to destroy the entire planet in an unexpected act. What happened to Goku and Odisu after that explosion? What will the destruction of the planet change in the course of their combat? Find out now. In the void of space, a globe of energy stands out. Who is inside that energy globe is Odisu, who, speaking to someone, says he was surprised by that sudden act and did not imagine that he would destroy the planet in that way. But if he imagined hurting Odisu with such an appealing attitude, he was a complete fool. Odisu was talking to Goku, who had just appeared with an instant transmission, while saying that he already knew that an attack like that wouldn't have any effect on Odisu. He just couldn't stand the cowardly way the enemy used the planet to avoid him anymore. Coward? Odisu asks while turning to the opponent who just reappeared. Goku confirms his statement, saying that he doesn't respect those who fight without using their fists. For him, hiding behind the environment is something for cowards. Odisu says his opponent is a fool. Apparently, he still doesn't understand the meaning to be a god. In a seemingly sarcastic tone, Goku asks why Odisu doesn't explain to him what it means to be a god. Odisu tells Goku what it means to be a god to him. Odisu says, domination. That's what being a god is all about. We gods are above everything and everyone, using what is below us, like the universes, the planets, and also the mortals. All of this is our right. Everything exists to serve the gods, and dominating everything that is rightfully ours, and using it as we please, is part of the divine role. But Goku doesn't agree with his opponent's view of what it means to be a god. He argues, that's nonsense. The gods are supposed to take care of all those things, not use. It is our duty who are stronger to care for those below us. It is we who must act for the benefit of those under our leadership, not the contrary. Odisu makes his rejoinder. Nonsense. If we gods are the ones who rule all things, then we use those below us for our benefit. It means that in the end the greatest beneficiaries are themselves. But Goku doesn't want to talk anymore. He doesn't want to hear all the rubbish his opponent talks anymore. Goku advises Odisu to prepare, because now that he no longer has a planet's natural resources to protect him, he will finish off the mage. A little impatient, Odisu criticizes his enemy, saying that despite being a god, he has the mind and heart of a mortal. He even claims that someone like Goku, who is attached to the rabble, will never be a god in excellence. Goku repeats in his mind the word rabble, while he remembers his family, who are part of that rabble, mentioned by Odisu. Flames begin to emanate. The one who emanates these flames is Odisu, whose clothes is disintegrated by the fire as he calls out to his enemy. Upon seeing the outfit underneath Odisu's cloak, Goku immediately recognizes it as being identical to the outfit worn by Pikkon. Goku flies towards Odisu while preparing a powerful punch, such a blow that the mage waits, even smiling a little before the blow arrives. The fists of the god of destruction and the celestial mage collide with great violence, scattering the mage's magical flames and the destroyer's destructive energy across the vacuum of space. While releasing a greater amount of energy, Goku wins the dispute of strength, making Odisu withdraw his hand and hitting the mage, who needs to defend himself so as not to have his chest hit by the blow. Goku's punch is strong enough to push the mage at high speed through space, only to chase after him in the next moment. Goku pursues his enemy with a serious and focused expression, clearly determined to destroy him. Odisu, on the other hand, apparently views the destroyer's advance with concern. As the chase continues at high speed through space, Goku, even though he is reasonably far away from his opponent, starts throwing a lot of punches towards him. Even with Goku's distance, the power of his punches is enough for the impact waves of his blows to hit Odisu, who takes dozens of hits. In a moment, he decides to react and disappear in the form of lightning, reappearing behind Goku to try a punch against the destroyer with his fists coated in electricity. Goku blocks the attack, but is affected by the electrical current from the blow. Odisu tries a second punch, but this one Goku defends by grabbing the mage's hand and teasing him by asking if this is what he calls a punch. And while preparing his counterattack, the Saiyan God says he will show him what a real punch is. Goku attacks Odisu with a very strong punch, such a punch that he manages to defend with one of his arms, but Goku's strength is such that Odisu has his defense disarmed and is destabilized by the attack. again being carried away with the force of the blow of Goku. Odisu reaches such a high speed that he is surrounded by a ray of light. Odisu has a forced journey along a long path through space until he goes towards an inhospitable planet and passes through this planet, destroying it with his own body, making only the debris of that great celestial body remain in space. After passing through this planet, destroying it, Odisu finally manages to stop and sees that Goku is already heading towards him, with an expression that suggests a great thirst for battle. Odisu crosses his arms, and then the debris from the destroyed planet controlled by him all goes towards Goku, closing around the Saiyan, forming a great globe of stones. But this is quickly resolved when Goku shouts Hakai, and in the next moment that entire large globe of debris is destroyed, leaving only a little dust that surrounds the one who destroyed it. Odisu appears from the middle of that dust, surprising Goku. He has his right arm surrounded by a strong rotating current of air while summoning a technique called Tornado Fist. Odisu points his hand towards Goku and then releases a powerful rotating stream of air, which becomes a large tornado that envelopes the god of destruction and makes him swing violently for many times until finally he's blown away by the wind, destroying some rocks in space until you get stuck in one of them. As he suffers the pain resulting from the last attack, Goku reflects on how difficult this enemy is to deal with. What does he need to win? With an angry look, Goku remembers Odisu's words criticizing him for clinging to mortals. He's still angry by that statement, wondering who that bastard thinks he is to talk about mortals that way. But come to think of it, isn't he also denying his origin as a mortal? He had said he would fight like a god of destruction, and here he is, fighting in a completely different way than what he's been taught his whole life. Goku remembers his last moment with his friend Krillin before leaving Earth. Krillin had told him not to forget his essence and origin as an Earthling. He also remembers the last words spoken to him by his master, telling him to show the gods the power of the Turtle School. After these memories, Goku decides that this isn't right. He's Son Goku, the god of destruction, but he's also Son Goku, the Saiyan who grew up on Earth. If he accepts what he is now, but without denying his origin, he's sure to win. From a distance, Odisu watches his enemy. He raises one of his arms as he creates an attack he calls Lightning Spear, and then he launches the attack, which travels at high speed through space. Seeing the attack coming with great concern, Goku puts his hand on his forehead. Observing the explosion site from afar, Goku remarks in relief that it was a very narrow escape, but he doesn't have much time to feel relief, as in the next second, Odisu is already behind him, preparing a blow while telling him not to get distracted. Goku is hit by Odisu's punch and has his chest crossed by the mage's attack, who smiles when he sees that his blow landed perfectly, but Odisu's smile doesn't last long. As the next moment, Goku's body begins to disappear, revealing it to be a mirage, and that the mage has hit nothing but the void. The real Goku comes out from behind a rock in which he was hiding, and he has in his hand a sphere of energy of destruction that he throws it at Odisu, who dodges the sphere while advancing towards him. But in the next moment, the attack returns against the mage, who has to dodge again, surprised. Goku is manipulating the attack, as is his friend Yamcha's Sokidan. He asks his opponent if he is surprised and reveals that it is a mortal's ability. Odisu dodges the energy ball once more, and then launches a fireball at it, which is destroyed along with Goku's energy in a huge explosion. When Odisu looks back, Goku is already approaching. He announces one more technique, Taiyoken. He screams as Tien's image comes to mind. The powerful ray of light released by Goku blinds Odisu's eyes, who instinctively tries to hit the protagonist, who he knew was coming toward him. But Goku dodges the punch as he steps back and forms a large slicing disc of ki in his hand, remembering his great friend Krillin. Kienzan! He yells as he launches the disc towards Odisu using his hands to manipulate the large disc. Pressing his sore eyes, Odisu says that Goku is a fool. In the next moment, the large disc created by Goku splits into 5 smaller discs that surround Odisu to cut him from multiple directions. But the mage warns that even though he can't see, he can feel the attacks coming. Odisu shouts, "Death Ball!" And then a globe of electrical energy forms around him as it emits destructive beams that destroy Goku's Kienzans. Odisu states that as long as he is within this defensive field, none of Goku's attacks can hit him. But that is no longer going to be necessary. As he slowly opens his eyes, Odisu was about to claim that his vision had recovered. But he is surprised when an instant transmission is made into his death ball. It is Goku who already had a Kamehameha prepared. He says, "Feel the power of the technique of the mortals you despise so much." With the memory of Master Roshi in his head, Goku reaches out to Odisu as he launches his mighty Kamehameha, which completely engulfs the Celestial Maid. After receiving the powerful Kamehameha from the god of destruction, Odisu is completely injured. Goku reveals to his opponent that these techniques he used were all taught to him by the mortals that Odisu despises so much, and asks him how he feels about it. With an expression of a weakened face, Odisu only insults his enemy, calling him a bastard. Something happens to Goku. He suddenly feels a headache as the image of his inner demon comes to mind, ordering Goku to let him out. He breathes calmly to recover and then tells Odisu that he has come very close to the limit of power he could use in this fight. He must get this over with before he loses control once more. His wish is to completely destroy Odisu, but he cannot do this, as the mage must have important information. Also, he wants to know why the mage wears the same clothes as Master Paikon. He will lead the invader to Vados, and then she will know what to do. Goku lands a punch to finish off his opponent, but to his surprise, Odisu's body begins to break down in electricity, severely electrocuting the Saiyan, who screams in pain. The mage appears again on the back of the destroyer with a spear of lightning ready in one hand. Odisu throws the spear, which goes toward Goku. The protagonist causes the electric aura to dissipate by releasing a large amount of power, and watching the approaching electric spear with concern. He crosses his arms in front of his body as he waits for the powerful attack to come. Northern Galaxy. After receiving Odisu's immensely powerful attack, Goku stands up and asks the mage with a frustrating expression when he started facing that clone. Odisu explains that from the moment Goku dodged his first lightning spear, he hid in the distance and watched Goku fight with his lightning clone while using those ridiculous techniques he says he learned from his mortal friends. After explaining this to Goku, Odisu teases him. "You asked my clone how he felt about being defeated by those techniques, right? So let me ask you, how do you feel having tried so hard to overcome a mere clone with only 50% of my power?" Goku is enraged by the mage's provocation and moves in to attack him with a punch. Such a punch that Odisu easily catches with one hand, and then notes that Goku has already started to lose power. A punch hits the protagonist's face while drawing some of his blood, then another equal blow does the same thing on the other side of his face. He tries a counterattack, but Odisu dodges his blow by crouching down and counterattacks with a very blunt punch to the Saiyan's ribs, who feels the blow while screaming. He still tries to counterattack with another punch, but Odisu again dodges and counterattacks with a strong punch to the destroyer's abdomen, making his divine blood escape his body again. Goku vomits a considerable amount of blood, indicating severe internal damage to his body. Meanwhile, he places his hands on the injured areas. Seeing all this, Odisu says that there is nothing more pathetic than a god in the state, and asks Goku to improve the situation by unleashing the power of his energy of destruction. Even if it is necessary, let the energy take control. Goku must allow it, as the way he has no use to the mage. Even angrier, Goku lunges at his opponent and tries a punch, which he catches with one hand. And meanwhile, Odisu says that Goku moves have already drastically lost strength and speed. It's pointless to keep trying to hit him. But with a plan in mind, Goku smiles and opens his hand as he starts to say the word Hakai. But before he completes the name of the technique, a strong punch from the enemy hits his arm while causing a loud crack in his bone. Goku screams while in pain, and when Odisu lets go of his wrist, he sees that his arm is broken. As Goku drops to his knees, losing his transformation, Odisu says, "Do you know the reason why you can never defeat me? It's because unlike you, I don't deny my own power. I and the magic I manipulate are as one. I connect completely with the elements of nature I control. You, on the other hand, are a constant war with your own power. Even in this depressing situation, you refuse to fully release the power of your energy of destruction because you cannot control it. And because you cannot control it, you fear it. But even if you don't want to unleash that power, there is a way for me to force you to." Odisu grabs Goku by the hair before carrying the destroyer out of the planet. Planet Earth from Universe 6. With Goku's violent collision with the ground, a large crater is opened in the middle of the city. In the center of the crater, Goku reflects on not being able to fight anymore because he is already at the full limit of the power he could use without losing control. The citizens of the city approach the crater, curious to know what fell there and caused so much destruction in their city. Only now does Goku see the citizens of that place, and seeing that they are Earthlings, he finally realizes that he is on planet Earth. Looking beyond the people in the crater, Goku sees someone far away in the sky. It is Odisu, who with one of his hands raised prepares an attack. Goku immediately yells at the Earthlings to get out of there, and as they begin to realize what is happening, the citizens begin to flee. As he gets up, Goku asks Odisu not to do this. These people have nothing to do with all this, but Odisu reminds him of what he had said earlier. Mortals exist only to serve the purpose of the gods, and right now, these mortals have a purpose they must serve. With the launching of an energy ball that is sure to destroy the Earth, Goku flies towards the attack, trying to stop it with his good arm. But Goku isn't strong enough, realizing that this way the attack will destroy the entire planet. Goku screams as he tries even harder, and with that extra effort again, the energy of destruction speaks in his mind, warning him that he won't make it and ordering him to release it. Something happens to Goku's eyes, and then again he screams as he tries even harder. A huge explosion occurs, making Odisu's attack disappear. The mage, watching what happened, says with satisfaction that at last he has appeared. From the middle of all the smoke resulting from the destruction of Odisu's attack, finally another figure appears. The same dark figure that had appeared when Goku lost control some time ago. And he has the same transformation that the destroyer was using. But his eyes are dark and his appearance is evil. The creature that just appeared confirms that Odisu wanted to see him, and then introduces himself saying that he is here. As they both float above the partially destroyed city, the entity of destruction that lives inside Goku now is in control of the protagonist's body and consciousness, introduces himself to the enemy who wanted to see him. Seeing the new appearance of the god of destruction, Odisu observes that Goku has finally crossed the threshold he could not cross, and thus can no longer contain his energy of destruction. Odisu thinks this is a good thing, as he is sure this being of destruction will not hold back, and thus he will be able to see the true extent of Universe 6's god of destruction's powers. But the energy of destruction gives the celestial mage a warning. It's good Odisu not think that fighting him is the same thing as fighting that idiot. Soon the mage will see the gulf between Goku's power and the power of the true energy of destruction. As he charges at Goku, Odisu tells him to show off that power. The mage attacks with a punch which is caught by Goku, and just the pressure power of this punch is enough to cause a line of destruction in the city, sweeping away some building and part of the ground. Odisu commends Goku's strength for being able to hold his blow like this, but what now? He only has one arm available since the other one was broken, and that arm is already being used. But Goku disagrees. Who said he only has one arm available? In a completely weird move, Goku puts his broken arm in place and then uses that same arm to punch Odisu, who blocks the attack, but is still thrown away with the force of the blow and causes a line of destruction in the city, much larger than the one caused by his punch a few seconds before. Part of the one of the buildings affected by the attack collapses, and it was about to crush a group of people who are screaming in despair, waiting for certain death. But suddenly this large piece of concrete crumbles to dust, which leaves the citizens completely confused as they watch the dust fall on them. The person responsible for this is Champa, who apparently just arrived in town, or maybe was sleeping around, judging by the outfit. Taking one look at Goku, Champa immediately recognizes that he has been overpowered by his energy of destruction, and considers him a danger to the city, and that he has to do something about it. But one serious look from the possessed Goku is enough to scare the former god of destruction, who seems to give up on the idea. As he watches Goku walk away, Champa gives up on fooling himself, admitting that he is no match for Goku or his opponent. His intention was to offer help to Goku, but as he is now, there is no longer a distinction between friend and foe. Right now, it's even hard to know who among them is the greatest threat to Earth. In a partially destroyed forest region, Odisu has just recovered from the attack he just received, admitting that his opponent's strength was greater than he was expecting. As he admits this, he looks down at his own arms, which have clearly been shaken from blocking that attack. But he doesn't have that much time to think, as Goku comes down from the sky towards him, thirsting for combat, asking teasingly if the mage is in pain. Goku points a hand at Odisu, who is immediately paralyzed by the destroyer's mental strength, and is even very surprised by him. After making sure his opponent won't escape, Goku attacks with a strong punch, so powerful that it causes great destruction in that area, leaving only a large deep crater where a forest once existed. On the other side of the planet, in a glacial region, a penguin walks calmly when suddenly something comes from underneath, destroying the ground and heading towards the sky. It's Odisu, who senses the attack he just received and sent him across the planet, and before he can recover, he receives another blow. This time a kick, which throws him against a large glacier and buries him in the ice. In the next moment, the ice is completely cracked, and then destroyed into several pieces by the mage, who, dividing the large block of ice into several smaller pieces, points his hands towards Goku, throwing the small blocks towards him. But Goku is not intimidated. Heading towards the blocks of ice guided by the enemy, and seeing that he was about to be hit, he begins to emanate an aura of energy of destruction around him. And at the moment when the blocks of ice hit the energy, they are instantly destroyed. And that's how Goku makes his way to Odisu, charging forward without hesitation, as he destroys blocks of ice with his aura of destruction until he finally lands on his opponent with a punch that begins to push the mage. And while pushing his enemy, he says with great excitement that he will utterly destroy him. Leaving the frozen regions, they fly over the sea while trading blows, with Odisu clearly being the most pressured. In a moment, they approach an island with a large volcano in the center. Close to the island, Odisu is hit by a knee and is thrown against the island's volcano, piercing the rocky crust of the volcano and ending up inside it. The volcano, which was clearly inactive before, begins to release smoke, only to release a powerful torrent of lava in the next moment. And from the middle of this intense torrent of lava that reaches the skies, the silhouette of the mage who caused this eruption appears, who leads all this lava towards the enemy. Goku sees the lava flow approaching and waits for the attack to come towards him. Pointing one hand at the attack, he forms a globe of energy of destruction that stops the lava, then uses his strength to push the lava back, while directing the energy globe towards Odisu. Losing the match, Odisu sees no option but to escape Goku's attack, which completely blows up the island. Odisu manages to dodge the globe of energy of destruction in time, but he cannot dodge the god of destruction himself, who surprises him with a quick approach and hits him with a kick in the face, which throws Odisu away with great force, making the mage cross the sea at high speed until heading towards a piece of land, which is later revealed to be a desert, where the mage finally stops his forced displacement in a violent collision with the ground. While recovering from the attack, Odisu observes how much Goku's power has increased, both in physical attributes and overall destructive power. He classifies this being possessing Goku's body as a true beast of destruction. The creature confirms the mage's words, saying that's exactly what he is, and it is this beast of destruction that will completely erase him from existence. But despite the fact that the situation for him is not good at all, Odisu smiles and says that his opponent is ignorant. The creature asks what he means by that. Odisu explains that that's not all the power of his body that hosts him. This man named Anzen has a transformation that, if he uses it, can greatly increase his power. Host, Anzen, Goku doesn't understand, but he doesn't want to understand either. He just wants, if Odisu has more power, use that power once and for all, instead of talking so much. Odisu agrees. After surprisingly revealing a tail that looks a lot like Saiyan's tails, Odisu calls upon the Beast of Destruction to continue the fight, and this time they must go all out. Seeing Anzen's transformation used by Odisu, who changed his hair, in addition to growing a tail, the energy of destruction that commands Goku comments that it looks like a Saiyan transformation. Odisu confirms that it's a Saiyan transformation, but says it's a little different than what's in this realm. Goku asks what he means by that, but Odisu says he's not there to answer questions. All he wants is for Goku to show him his power. Eager to continue the fight, Goku agrees with the idea, but was about to call the mage to continue when suddenly Odisu is already in front of him, landing a strong attack. An attack strong enough to make the god of destruction spit blood, while thinking in awe of his enemy's great strength and speed. Odisu's hand presses down on Goku's stomach, and in the meantime he asks what the god of destruction thinks of his power. But Goku smiles and then reveals that this is what he likes to see. Goku tries to land a punch on the enemy in front of him, but Odisu dodges into the air, letting the destroyer's blow destroy the ground ahead. While chasing the retreating enemy, Goku calls him out to play. They gain altitude, heading towards the clouds, and then they begin an exchange of blows as they continue to go higher. Odisu tries a punch, which Goku parries and then counters with a successful punch to the mage's face, followed by another equally successful blow. After that, they clash their punches, blowing away the nearby clouds thanks to their incredible strength. And then they keep flying and exchanging blows intensely, doing many laps around planet Earth while fighting at great speed. As the battle of the gods rages, calamities rage across the Earth. The planet's seas are completely agitated as the entire planet shakes in an intense earthquake, which is felt with concern by the inhabitants. And in a desert, this earthquake is so intense that it is even opening a big fissure in the ground. From the top of the planet, it can be seen that the gods are about to clash again. Above the ocean, they fly towards each other and finally collide. Their collision is so strong that it causes two huge waves to be lifted while leaving a gigantic hole in the ocean. Some distance away, one of the raised waves continues its course until it's about to reach a cruise. The people inside the ship despair when they see certain death. However, when the water was about to completely engulf the ship and its crew, the cruise simply disappeared from there. The next moment, the crew members see that they are somewhere else and are completely confused about it. For some reason, they just happen to be in the middle of a desert. What happened? The other gigantic wave raised by Goku and Odisu heads towards a coastal town. The population of that city, seeing what is coming, despairs. But then Ieai appears and extends one of her hands towards the wave. Using her telekinetic power, Ieai stops the water from advancing, then returns it to where it came from. Seeing that everything was fine now, the Kaioshin sighed in relief as she disappeared from there. Champa is watching the fight from somewhere else when Ieai walks up to him. She recognizes him, saying she saw him in a book and knew he came to Earth. Champa immediately deduced who she is from her outfit and asked what she wants. Ieai states the obvious. She wants him to do something to stop them. But Champa reminds her that he is no longer the god of this universe, and that is no longer his job to deal with these things. But the truth is, even if he was still a god, he still couldn't stop it. Ieai is a bit startled by his statement, because if even when he was a god he couldn't do anything about it, it means that the situation is extremely serious. Champa confirms the gravity of the situation, saying that the level of power they are using right now is completely out of his reach. And not only that, the way they're fighting right now is nearly impossible to contain. Ieai asks what he means by that, and as a heavy rain suddenly starts to fall, Champa asks if she didn't notice how they're fighting, and then he goes to start explaining to her. This guy that Son Goku is facing had a very sober spirit, apparently much more balanced and rational. But now he is different. It seems that his spirit has become much more combative, and if he has given himself over to the chaos of combat, and the feeling I have is that the more he gets involved with combat, the more he progresses in battle. But it's not like he lost all rationality. In fact, he still continues to fight intelligently, but now he seems to take pleasure in all the chaos of the battle. Son Goku, on the other hand, was overpowered by his energy of destruction, and the nature of that energy I know very well. The more he is consumed by this energy, the more he will lose any sense of balance and become an agent of destruction that makes no distinction of anything, as seems to be the case with the transformation of this foe he faces. Goku's power will increase as he surrenders himself to the chaos and violence of battle. But on the other hand, he will also become more and more unstable and move further and further away from his humanity. Hakai. He will become a machine of destruction that will not stop until he reduces everything that exists to nothing. In a single instant, all of the water disappeared, destroyed by Goku's Hakai. As the sea dust below washes over her, Ieai says that from what Champa is saying, they will fight until there is nothing left in the universe for them to destroy. Champa confirms that's exactly what it is, stating that if this fight continues, Universe 6 is doomed. Above what was once a great ocean, someone floats alone. It is Goku who gazes into the abyss below him, created by his own power of destruction. Odisu reappears behind him, indicating that he managed to escape that huge explosion. And as the mage returns to him, Goku asks what he's going to do now that there's no more water for him to use. Odisu smiles as he comments that apparently he doesn't care what happens to this planet, which is the mirror of the planet Son Goku grew up on. Apparently he's fighting completely carefree, just as he'd hoped. Goku says that the mage still hasn't seen anything and was about to charge at him. But at that moment, the image of the real Goku appears in his mind, screaming. With that, the possessed Goku is very uncomfortable and his head hurts, which draws Odisu's attention. The next moment, Goku flies out of Earth, being pursued by the mage. Ieai notices their departure and questions this to Champa. Thinking a little, Champa already understood what was happening. He recalls that Son Goku grew up on planet Earth in Universe 7. Perhaps Goku's consciousness was not completely dominated by the energy of destruction. So when he saw the planet being damaged, he despaired and pressed the energy's domain. To reduce the nuisance, the energy decided to leave the planet. This makes Ieai excited. That means there's hope, right? Goku isn't fully out of control yet. But Champa doesn't share her joy, commenting that the young goddess is a bit dumb, despite the fact that he is the one who had just such fame among the gods. When Ieai asks why he's saying that, Champa explains that if being on planet Earth was what strengthened Goku's consciousness a little bit and caused the energy of destruction to falter even a little bit, that means that now he's gone. He doesn't have emotional bonds to hold the remnants of consciousness anymore. Only now did Ieai understand the gravity of the situation. Champa confirms what she's thinking, saying that from now on, the energy of destruction will get stronger and stronger in control of Goku's consciousness, and there won't be anything holding back, which means that the total destruction of the universe is getting closer and closer. As if the fight between Goku and Odisu wasn't intense enough on planet Earth, now the energy of destruction that commands Goku's mind moves away from the planet to be able to fight more freely. What will this beast of destruction do now? And who will save Universe 6? Find out in the next chapters of Dragon Ball Hakai.